Have you ever spent time with a married woman at work or in a social setting, only to find that her behavior is a little odd? You might be asking yourself if this is truly how a married woman should carry herself. The fact of the matter is that regardless of whether someone is married or not, everyone has deep desires and fantasies entrenched in their minds, and while many people can cope with these, some simply choose to follow their desires. Now, this video is treading on some moral gray areas, and we would like to start by saying that in no way, shape, or form do we condone infidelity or the act thereof. As a man and a woman, it is your responsibility to be honest and upfront with your partner, and this video is only for educational purposes. Why do women cheat? Nowadays, the statistics for divorce have skyrocketed, and in the United States alone, about 50% of all marriages will end in divorce. Whilst there are many different reasons for divorce, with the number one being financial, infidelity is also something that often rears its ugly head, making you wonder why women cheat. Unlike men who cheat due to desires and pleasure, the female mind is a little different, and for women, an emotional connection is needed if they are to take this massive step. Now, keep in mind that whenever someone is influenced by any substance, this impairs their clear judgment. But this video focuses on signs that a woman has been planning to cheat for a while. There are two main reasons that a woman might consider cheating on her husband, and the first one is often the most common. Since women are biologically programmed to seek a male who offers them the best possible resources and chances at survival, she might consider leaving her husband the moment he fails to provide. Secondly, there is an element of the sexual nature, and when a woman feels unfulfilled in her marriage, she might start seeking a different partner that can meet all of these sexual cravings and desires. Contrary to popular belief, when a woman cheats, it is often done months ahead of time in her mind, and once she has cheated mentally, the physical aspect merely follows. But what are the signs that a woman wants to cheat with you? She seeks simple reasons to spend time with you. Women rarely spend time with men they don't feel any connection toward. However, when she starts making time to spend time with you, like entertaining lunch dates and other forms of encounters, she desires to spend more and more time with you. This can be to simply vent her frustrations when her marriage is broken down to a point where there is no more communication, or it could be as a way of courting you and hoping that you are also willing to play around this moral gray area. Women who are on the brink of infidelity might want to go on numerous lunch dates, while she will also want you to spend time with her as much as possible. In many cases, she might even want to invite you to everything, even when her husband's present. You become her punching bag. Now, this one can be a little tricky, and depending on how you handle it, it could either see you as the best friend or the partner she desires. If she begins to use you as her emotional punching bag, it is a clear sign that she trusts you, and now she is discussing things with you that she cannot discuss with her partner. She will often start testing the water by venting over some things in her life and hoping that you can provide some answers. But this will escalate to her complaining about her husband and the current relationship. These are both signs that she's unhappy in her relationship, and she is building a much stronger bond with you. However, it also means that she could be interested in you. The more time you spend with such a woman, the bigger the chance that she will eventually want to cheat on her husband with you. Opening up on intimate details. One thing that is pretty standard in a relationship is that women rarely talk to other men about what is going on in the bedroom. However, a woman who starts sharing some of the intimate details of their relationship is clearly unsatisfied with whatever it is that her husband is bringing to the table. You see, married women often do this as a way of seeking validation, and since she is unhappy, she wants to find out if this is normal or if the relationship is slowly going downhill and there is nothing left to hold on to. She also wants to create some kind of fantasy, hoping that you will tell her how you would have done it better, and this gives her some sense of self-comfort that also creates more and more attraction from her side to you. This happens in every cheating situation, whether it be in a marriage or in a simple relationship. The moment she starts sharing some of her intimate details in life, you will need to ask yourself what her true intentions are and if she's actually trying to court you in this process. The texting game starts exploding. The great thing about the 21st century can also be seen as a curse for relationships. Instead of physically cheating with someone, texting and online communication give men and women the opportunity to test the waters. They can easily see how the other person responds without losing their self-respect or actually cheating. If a married woman wants to cheat with you, you will notice that the frequency of her text messages will significantly increase. She will want to respond to your messages as soon as she possibly can, and this might even lead to online flirting. Women will use this method of online flirting as a way of dipping their toes inside the water. It should allow them to assess if you are the same and if you're willing to go ahead with this. Once again, this is a moral decision. We can't make it for you. Naughty messages or images. Now, standard flirting through text messaging might seem harmless, right? However, if you reciprocate in these flirty text messages, you will notice that things escalate. In fact, whenever you pour some fuel on a small fire, it will turn into a larger inferno and grow through the additional momentum that it comes with. One of the first things you are bound to notice with the increase in texting frequency is that messages could become a little more R-rated. Instead of just casual flirting, a woman who is willing to cheat with you will send you images and even memes that have a direct connotation to what she wants to do. But remember that this is a way of gauging whether or not you are receptive. And this might also escalate the sexual tension between the two of you when you see each other in a physical space again. Increased venting over her current relationship. One thing about a woman who's ready to cheat is that you need to stop for a second and consider things from her perspective. You see, in her mind, she is fighting a battle with herself, and this is often due to the moral values that she carries with her. Thanks to these emotions, you will notice numerous personality swings. Whilst she has now established that she is willing to cheat with you, she might once again try to find a way of justifying this to herself. In fact, she needs to feel that if she does this, it is valid, which is why venting over her current relationship is something that will increase and even become more dramatic. At this stage, she might actually even say bad things about her husband. The next step is, once again, confusing to men. Complete change in personality. Shyness. What you will notice next is that she might go through different personality changes, with one of these being incredible shyness. In fact, she might actually make a complete 180 with her personality, going from openly flirting in person or via text messages to becoming shy. One of the most reasonable explanations for such a behavioral shift is due to the fact that she is slowly starting to feel guilty, or she might have noticed that she is doing all the courting. This is also a test to see if she portrays herself as the harmless and shy damsel in distress if you are willing to save her. Remember that women always want to be the princess in the castle, hoping that their knight in shining armor will come to free them from the shackles of the evil and ferocious dragon. They just build this type of scenario in different forms. Doubting and creating fantasies. Keep in mind that all these things happen in stages, and this is just the general order they might happen. But the next thing you are bound to experience is where doubt and fantasies start to collide to give us that incredible what-if mindset. During this time, she will be running numerous variations through her mind of what if and what would happen if she does cheat on him. She might even ask you questions about security, trying to figure out if you're actually willing to provide her with some of the security she currently has. She might come up with scenarios to ask you how life would be different if she ultimately chose to date you. However, you need to beware, as this is a sneaky little trick women use to compare if your grass is actually greener than the pastures they are currently living on. However, you can be sure that whenever a woman starts creating fantasies about you in their life, they have already fallen in love with you and they are on the brink of committing. Invading your personal space. Once she has established that you are the right kind of guy and she can fully trust you with everything, the next thing will slowly start to happen. She will try to spend as much time with you as possible, which also means invading your personal space and testing your boundaries. Once a woman starts to test your boundaries and begins to invade this personal space, she's likely already in love with you and now she wants to feel comfortable around you. This can also lead to some casual role play between you and her, where she can create some scenarios for the two of you to live and escape from the reality of her current life. Some examples of this might be that she continues to be at your desk when you are at work, or she might even pitch up to your home without an invitation. The invasion of personal space is basically her telling you that she's ready to cheat on her husband in a very passive-aggressive way, but many men miss this. Actual courting and flirting. Since you are a man, you are obviously oblivious and ignorant to many underhanded tactics. So if invading your personal space is not something that works for her to get your attention, she might be silent for a while, but once she returns, it'll be all hands on deck. This is when you can expect her to fully commit, and you will notice that she publicly flirts with you and often tries to seduce you. You will notice that she gives you tons of compliments to see if you're willing to reciprocate. One thing to keep in mind is that a woman, especially someone with a little bit of self-respect and dignity, would never just jump you as a man. They will try every cunning tactic to make sure that you are actually pursuing them. Once they have you pursuing them, they can control the situation, and that is when things get a little more complicated for both parties and where love triangles form. You can choose to respond to the flirting or ignore it, but it is one of the most critical signs that she wants to cheat on her husband with you. Creating similar hobbies and interests. Since hobbies and interests are crucial to a relationship, you might find that women will want to make sure that the two of you have similar hobbies and interests. She will want to find out more about yours and also try to encourage you to indulge in some of the things that she truly likes. The goal is to try and move this from possible cheating to creating a stronger and more durable relationship by introducing some friendship qualities. However, this will generally happen when you have agreed to the situation that she is creating, and now she is planning for the future to see what could come from this. Intimate moments become more common. During this process of getting to know each other, men who have been in many relationships will start to notice that even though she is married, the man simply fades when the two of you are together. This can happen when you don't fall in love and show weakness or jealousy toward the man she's married to. Small things like increased eye contact and playful teasing will make it seem like you are in a possible relationship with a single person. For her, this is an escape from the monotony of her marriage, and she will continuously seek this kind of butterfly moment when she is spending more and more time with you. However, spending more time with you will bring out another moral issue, which is something that will start happening and can even be seen as a surefire reason that she is willing to cheat on her husband with you. How it all happens will depend on your own set of moral values and how far you are willing to go in this gray area. Becoming part of her lies. Initially, she might lie to her husband and use some common reason for where she is and with whom she is spending time. However, this is not as easy and simple as you might think, and when things start to become more intense, you will notice that you become part of her lies, and this is her trying to create lies with a little bit of truth. You might notice that she tells her husband that you are a friend from work, or that the two of you are currently working together on a project. Some women will even go as far as introducing their husband to you, and you might even notice that you find yourself in some very awkward situations. This is how complex women are willing to be when they're ready to cheat. However, you can be sure that if she's willing to invest this level of mental energy, she is truly ready to cheat. Making the move. Once she has given you every signal and you have still not responded the way she desires, she will have to make a decision. Unless you have been doing things that might seem weak, or if you have been preaching the value of morals to her, you might be in for a surprise next. You see, unless her relationship with her partner somehow changes, which is often possible and means that she will basically leave you out to dry, she will want to continue making a move that would allow her to get what she wants. You will notice plenty of physical exchanges happening, from her kissing you to touching you as much as she possibly can. Her goal at this point is to seal the deal, and by the time she is willing to make as much physical contact with you, she has basically already chosen that there is no use for her to continue in such a relationship. At this point, everything will come down to whether or not you are willing to do this. And once again, we do not condone any such behavior and would strongly advise any man in such a situation to have cut short this situation a long time ago. As fun as it might sound, the level of mental troubles that come with this is not worth it, and there are many women out there. She leaves her husband for you. The final thing that is bound to happen is that she will eventually leave her husband for you. Keep in mind that through this journey and process, her husband might have gotten thoughts of this, and numerous fights have also taken place inside the marriage. If by some stroke of luck she doesn't confess, things can naturally progress, but women rarely admit their own faults. Once she leaves her husband, she will once again come to you, and since you are now the one person she trusts, she will actually expect to move into a relationship with you. Once again, we don't recommend this, as everyone wants a drama-free relationship where both parties have as little emotional baggage as possible. For a woman to show that she wants to cheat with you is easy, but they will often take a long road to this as a way of protecting themselves from judgment. However, if you find yourself in any of these situations, it is a good indication of where things are heading. Women generally love to cheat on older men, but what is it that makes them attracted to them? Make sure to check out this next video and find out.